I don't watch the Oscars. I was watching like not even a game that was really.
Right,
I was watching like the Portland Trailblazers,
Right.
and my phone starts going crazy. Let me paint a picture for you guys. All of my family lives on the East Coast. Everybody's back east still. So when my phone starts going crazy as a black person, you think
something's going on. Something happened.
Somebody's in something bad. So now I'm looking at the phone like, damn, am I ready for this phone call? Am I ready to take? I'm thinking about my mother.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, damn, something happened to mommy. I'm not even prepared to take this phone call. And I see my little brother Jordan calls, and I'm like, okay, I could at least take some bad news from family. And I answer the phone like, what's up? And he goes, was that real?
Big Boy's Neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Benjamin Button, I almost called him Benjamin Buttons. Tony Rock in the neighborhood, man. Welcome back to the neighborhood,
What's
Tony.
up, brother?
You
Good
look
to
like
see you.
foul footage, man. You look like yesterday.
Hey, man, I try.
Well, what are you drinking for real? Is that water?
I drink water. No heavy drugs. I try to get some sleep. I got a baby to chase, man.
He said no heavy drugs. When you hear somebody say no heavy drugs, that mean they doing a little something. You know what I'm saying?
I drink a little alcohol.
I heard that.
I never smoked weed. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Really?
I've never been high in my
Dude,
life.
I've never smoked weed in my life. I smoked a cigarette once when I was in 7th grade. Me and my homie Frank trying to impress some girls and stuff. But yeah, no, that hasn't been me. You just are you high on life?
I have a cousin. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a cousin that my uncle caught him smoking once and made him smoke a carton of cigarettes.
A carton.
A carton.
Oh my God.
And he was throwing up and just like passing out.
Now he got one of them things
crying.
like, yeah, Dad, why did you do that? Can't believe
Yo,
it.
he won't come near a cigarette now.
Hey, man, that's that hard love that we don't do that stuff now.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even spank my kids.
You can't.
Yeah.
Social media. You can't do nothing now.
Yeah,
Can't do
man.
nothing now.
Yeah, all these little buddy dates and what did you do wrong?
Right.
Do you understand why daddy's talking to you? Like, man, so you're a father now. Is this your first?
This is my first, yes.
Man, I heard that. You waited.
Charleston Rock. Yes.
Really? Charleston Rock.
Yes.
The Rock is a powerful name. You know, I
Absolutely,
used to
yeah.
call myself Big Rock, but then I was like, let me just go with my own thing. You know, but
I texted the guy earlier when I was downstairs. Hey, I'm in the lobby. Rock. And
Yeah.
he, like everybody
yeah,
knows.
brother.
Who it is. Yeah. Oh, it's Rock. Let's get
hey,
downstairs.
man, with having so much life ahead of you, you know, and before you had your little one, you know,
Right,
having so
right.
much life behind you, and then when you have your little one, because your little one is 2.
Yes, he'll be 3 in May.
3 in May. All righty. That's one of those things where not that you've done it all, but I know what age I had my first, and I was like, man, I'm done with this. I don't need to do this. Like, I knew where I was at in my life.
Right.
And I was at the perfect time to be the father to someone.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's
Yeah,
where you
absolutely.
are now?
I was in the perfect time to be
Yeah,
a father.
man.
I had already done a lot of partying, and I've been to all of the events.
Right.
I've
Have you ever been
traveled
to the Rock
world.
Nation brunch?
I have not been to the Rock Nation brunch.
Dude, same. We'll talk about that later.
I want to go to the Rock Nation
Yeah,
brunch.
man.
But you know what? I do, for my birthday weekend, I do my company's Rock the World. We do the Rock the World brunch, and it's all comics, and it's pretty cool.
Okay, so it's all
Yeah.
comics. Man, I was
Yeah.
about to feel bad about that until you said it's all comics. So I was about to do it. I've never been to Rock the World. You know what I'm saying? And do you do that around your birthday?
I do it around my birthday. And my birthday coincides with BET Award weekend every year.
So you do it out here?
Yeah.
You a cold motherfucker,
Yeah.
man. That means, dude, you just as bad as Rock Nation. Man, I am right here.
I'm going to invite you this summer.
It'll be greater later.
You're there.
And your
Yes.
birthday's on what?
June 30th.
Oh, man, Cancer.
Yes.
My brother
I'm
Mouse is
emotional.
June
I'm
30th.
emotional.
Dude, you said it.
Yeah.
Dude, my brother Mouse is the same day. He's June 30th as
Oh,
well.
really?
Yeah, man.
He loves hard. He loves
I
hard.
was about to say that. Sometimes too hard.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, there's been times growing up too, Tony, I had to be like, man, you know, calm down. I'm good, bro. Even now, he'll see something on Instagram and he ready to go off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, man, let that slide right
Yeah.
there. So you
I have
find
to
yourself
stop
doing
myself
that?
all the time from responding to now I don't do it at all. Like, because the comments will they're going to keep coming.
Yeah,
There's
right.
no stopping the people that are going to send negative comments on
Yeah,
your social
man.
media. So I don't respond to comments at all. I don't read them at all.
Are you on social media?
I am. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Elon Musk deactivated my Twitter because I was on Uber Social. I wasn't on the actual Twitter app.
Uh-huh.
I had like 115,000 followers. Gone.
And they cut you?
Yeah, I had
You
to start
can't
a
even
new
go back to
Twitter.
Twitter and be like, hey, man, can I get some rollover
Now I had to
followers?
start a new one. I'm on like 15 followers now.
So you were on Uber, like the Uber Twitter, which
Yeah.
is still under the same family, though, right?
Yeah, but he wants everybody on Twitter.
Damn, explain Uber Twitter because I've
I don't.
seen
It
that.
was just an app that people told me to use it. It was easier, and you could.
Oh, man.
You could,
So you had your
link
Twitter
with
account
Facebook
going through
and
that.
link with Instagram and all that stuff from that. So I did that, and then when Elon
That's
took
why
over,
when I saw you in Hollywood, you was busting those windows out of all those Teslas. I was wondering what was going on. I was like, man, we walked by. We was like, man, is that Tony Rock? You're like, so you had to build up again.
yeah, I'm trying to build up again.
Where you at now?
15 followers.
Oh,
I'm on it's real _Tony_ Rock on
Real,
Twitter.
damn, you had to do all them reels and underscores and stuff. Somebody check your name, huh?
Of course.
Hey man, if you don't jump on it
Somebody
early,
said Tony Rock 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm like, all right, I can't
you're like,
do it.
man, let me just try this. Tony Rock 58. These mother.
Yeah, they got him.
Hey man, how powerful is that name, Rock? Y'all put a lot into it.
Comedically, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
In the industry, I think it holds some weight. I think we bring a lot to the table
Yeah,
comedically and as far as entertainment is
What was
concerned.
growing up for you like? You know,
best.
yeah.
The
Talk
best.
to me. You say
The
the best.
The best.
Explain the best.
I have 9 siblings.
Yeah, man.
My father's the oldest of 15.
Wow.
And my dad was, he's head honcho of 15. So every birthday for us, my father would demand that all of his brothers and sisters brought their children to our house for all of our birthdays. So our birthdays were always the biggest event of the year.
Damn, what
That's
was
why I
that
celebrate
like?
my birthday so much every year, because it's like my dad kind of ingrained that into me. Like,
And where would you do that at? Like Madison Square Garden? Or like where does every
We had
Tony, what
Shea
is that?
Stadium
Yeah.
for Brian's 6th
And don't
birthday.
forget SoFi, ladies and gentlemen. Join the Rock family. So you say your growing up was amazing for you, Tony.
Yeah, so my dad was very inclusive, like family inclusive. So my uncles and aunts and everybody would be at the house every birthday. And that was the first seed of comedy, was seeing my uncles hold court and tell a story. And I would just watch them like, wow, it's amazing how one guy could just stand there and command the room. And I didn't know it was a talent. I just thought that's cool that Uncle Raymond can do that,
Do you have a real Uncle Raymond?
Yes, I do.
I'm pretty sure any name we name, you got an uncle by now.
Yeah.
So you would see that, not knowing that you were paying tuition into the School of Experience, so that was going to be something for your life.
It was inspiring to just see a person stand there and tell a story and have everybody just,
Hey man, because growing up, Tony, it was 8 of us in the household.
Yeah.
And you know how now you got so many things. You got 100 satellite channels. You got all the streaming and all that.
Right.
We didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had one phone in the house. You were lucky if you had 2 TVs in the house. So we entertained ourselves, man. Like I love coming from a big family.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, we used to do talent show, everything in our house,
thing.
man.
And outside was better too, because we didn't have to worry about acceptance from kids in the neighborhood.
Right.
I had 9 friends that were going to love me regardless.
Yeah, man.
I didn't have to join a gang.
Right.
I had a gang in the room.
Right.
I didn't have to worry about what people thought.
And where do you fall at out of the
middle
entire
child.
family?
I'm
middle child. All right, so you got olders, you got youngers.
Yeah.
And so did y'all all grow up like in the same household?
No, some people passed each other. So like the oldest and the youngest kind of saw each other in passing.
Well, I guess it's that many.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
You know,
My baby brother's like, I remember him. I don't really.
You got a pillow. You know what I'm saying? You can have that pillow, man, because I'm going on the road, man. Was it competitive in your household growing
Super
up?
competitive, yes. My mother used to say that myself and my brother Andre could never play on opposite teams because we would always fight. So it was like, if you guys going to play basketball, y'all got to be on the same team. You going to play baseball? Because if we were on opposite teams, we were fighting on the way home.
Hey man, was it always good, or was there some hardships too? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mean hardships to get somebody down, but it was like, man, like, all right, was it hand-me-down shoes?
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey man,
hand-me-down shoes. We had grilled cheese dinners. And,
yeah, man.
Why
he got the bigger
soup
one?
night.
Hey man, and it's got to be crazy because you have one child.
Yes.
Can you imagine adding another 8? What that would look like?
Man, that would be something.
Yeah.
My father said, have as many kids as you can afford. And he had way more than he could afford.
Right, yeah. He was like, Dad, this is routine. Like, man.
I'm like, I thought, well, we rich? Because I don't feel rich. You putting them out like we rich.
Like, dude, why do I have these holes in my socks if we rich? You know?
Exactly.
So did you always take to comedy?
Oh yeah, that was my
really though.
My first
so
love,
what was your moment with comedy? Were you a kid of Richard Pryor albums? Were you Sanford?
Yes, it was Richard Pryor albums, Bill Cosby albums. It was the talent shows at home,
Hey,
like
man,
we used to do.
Isn't it crazy that we used to sit up and put a needle on a record
and be
sit there
captivated by it?
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And the things that you would put in your head. This is before somebody had an HBO comedy show and things of that nature, man. Where
that's how creative they were. That we could listen to it and see it.
Yeah.
You know.
So you would listen to Pryor,
I'd listen
Bill
to
Cosby.
Richard Pryor, and I would go to school the next day and tell the jokes and get in trouble.
Oh yeah,
with my teacher. And my mother was a school teacher at the same school I went to.
Oh, that sucks. But
so I would get sent to her class instead of the principal's office.
Is that bad?
It was bad.
Yeah.
Certain times to interrupt her class, I would get in trouble. But then she told me, like, hey, this is his job. He does this for a living. This is what he does. And then the first time I saw Richard Pryor on TV, it was like, hey, that's the guy from The Record.
Right.
And I thought, oh, it's multifaceted. It's TV, it's movies, it's It's the records, it's radio, and I thought, okay, I'm in.
Hey man, just knowing Chris and seeing Chris stand up, I know that a lot of the family members are in different areas.
Right.
Besides you and Chris, is anybody else a comedian? Not funny.
Yeah, my baby brother Jordan. Super funny. Jordan Rock, my favorite comedian.
Really?
Yes.
How old is Jordan? We gotta.
Jordan's 30.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Super
that's another
funny.
one we gotta check in on.
Yeah, you got to check him out.
Really? How does a
He's
Jordan,
my retirement plan. I'm like, okay, once he's good, I'm okay. Let's go.
Hey man, okay, how does a Jordan come in the game behind a Tony and a Chris? Like those things are like.
Hey, man.
First, how do you come in after Chris Rock?
Okay, so I come in based on, like I said, the Richards and the guys that inspired me, and those guys were inspirations, but they were just ideals to me. I had never met one. I'd never talked to them. But when the guy in the next room starts doing comedy, it's like, okay, it made it real for me. Because I had never had a conversation with a Richard.
How old is Chris when he starts his workout?
Young.
And
He
shit?
starts 16, 17.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what's the age separation? So he's 16. You're about
quite a few years.
Quite a few years. Okay, all right, we'll Google it. You know what I'm saying? And we'll run it under the screen when we put the video up. So, but that is, and when you're younger, those years feel way more stretched out sometimes.
Yes.
You know how you could be with somebody and you're like, oh man, like 14 to like 11 is like, oh, there's a lot of living.
Right.
But then when you get older, you're like, oh, I was only 3 years older than you.
Right.
So at that time when you seeing Chris do his thing at 16, that's big brother, that's older brother. But did that feel like it was really separate?
It felt years apart because when he really started making moves in New York, like a paid regular in the comedy scene in New York, I was still getting up and going on the school bus.
Right.
So when he came in and was like, hey, I met Eddie Murphy last night and he's going to put me in this movie. And I'm like, I got to go to school in the morning.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Like,
you just woke me up and I got to get up. And,
That's your world, brother.
Right.
That's your world.
Right. And then when things started to progress and I started getting older and he was always, hey, man, you should do this. You funnier than me. You should do this. And I'm like, I want to go play football. I don't really care.
Hey, man, and Chris been on record saying that Tony is funnier. Yeah.
I mean, he said it.
Yeah. He's like, big, I am. You know what I'm saying?
I always tell people when they ask me, I say, hey, man, that's for you guys to debate.
Right.
We just count the money.
Yeah. Starting family beefs.
You guys argue over that. We just going to count the money.
Hey, man, is it different when you go into comedy yourself? Because comedy already is it's a lonely field from what I look at.
Yeah.
It's like that's a hard, and especially when y'all got in. Now you can see certain things, not discount anything, but you can, social media helps.
Yeah.
You can have one thing and you see people go on tour from doing certain things. And I'm like, wow. As opposed to getting up, either walking, driving, taking a subway, a bus to a club and staying there till 1 in the morning to try to see if you can get on and working out your material and thing. Yeah. So
when I came to LA, I used to live on Pico and Stanley.
Yeah, I know exactly.
I would walk from Pico and Stanley to the Laugh Factory and back every day, Monday through Sunday.
Which Laugh Factory?
Sunset.
Oh, Lord, Hollywood?
Just hoping to get a spot. No spots. Just I'll walk there, I'll sit in, I'll watch the 8 o'clock show, the 10 o'clock show, the 12 o'clock show.
Like a potluck, like just putting your name on?
And they would say, hey, Tony, do some time.
Yeah. That's when we say the tuition into the school of experience.
Yeah.
That is it right there.
But coming behind my brother, see, I always felt like people would always say, like, hey, you got your brother. Why don't your brother just do this for you? But then you lose all credibility with your peers.
Yeah.
So I never wanted my peers to say, he's not really one of us. So I did it the same way the guy that is landing today in Los Angeles, hoping to be a star.
Was that hard for you? Because
that's
Chris Rock got to be a gift and a curse too, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you have to fit? You know how sometimes you have a rapper and they like, man, I got to be twice as good. You know what I'm saying? Did you feel like you had to be twice as good?
I watch my brother sometimes and I just throw my whole book out. Like, okay, this is nothing. I got to start all over. I do that with Dave Chappelle too. I watch Dave and I'm like, okay, this is trash.
Really?
I got to do it all over again.
When did you get the comedian bug though, Tony? Because it's a difference being funny at the house,
right?
Being funny on the block. When do you say, how old are you when you say, man, I think I want to try this?
You know what? I learned, my life is this. I try something, I fail horribly, I learn from that, and then I keep it moving.
Oh, you keep it moving with the same thing or you go somewhere else?
No, it'll blow up in my face, and then it's like, okay, what do we learn from this massive failure?
Gotcha.
And the bug was from my biggest bomb. I was in Harlem. This is years and years ago.
This is before gentrification and everything.
Yes, way more. Yeah. White people was not coming through Harlem. This was a Harlem Week. They used to have a week-long block party in Harlem. If you're listening and remember Harlem Week, they would close all the stores on 125th Street and they would sell their stuff on the sidewalk. So the streets were closed off from Adam Clayton Powell up 3 or 4 blocks, and there was a comedy club on 125th Street called the Uptown Comedy Club. And the guys outside barking for an audience. Barking is when you try to solicit an audience from the people walking past. Hey, comedy show starting in 10 minutes. Yo, $5, my man. I'll let you in. You and your girl, come and get it. And me and my boys up there just trying to get girls for Harlem Week because everybody's outside. And it's like 8 of us. And my boys say, hey, we'll all pay to come in if you let my man go on.
Were you ready for that?
I was not.
All
but
right.
I thought I'm funny with my friends.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Like, man, I cracked them up.
Right. So I was fearless. Let's go. Let's do it. All my boys paid to go in, and I went up and bombed the bomb of all
Had you
bombs.
ever been on stage?
Yes, I'd been on stage before.
So you've been on stage, but now you're going in with your partners. You have a confidence.
No material.
And you
I
gotta
thought
think,
I'll
bro.
just make the room laugh. That's how
'Cause that's what
confident
you
I
do.
was.
Yeah, that's what
That's
I
what I
do,
do. I
man.
can make
What?
anybody laugh. The bomb of all bombs.
Damn.
I got booed off stage. And then when we left the comedy club, people were still hanging out on 125th Street because it was a block party. So I got booed 10 minutes later. Like, there he is again.
Yeah,
Boom.
hey, remember Holcomb? He right here.
Yeah. Then I got on the subway going back to Brooklyn. People like, yo, there he is again. Boom.
Oh, man.
I got booed from one borough to the next.
Oh.
That's like getting booed from Burbank to Beverly Hills to the Valley.
Hey, man, there's somebody that's right now like, man, I remember that
Yes,
night.
yes.
I booed him.
But the thing is, it was like, it can't ever be worse than that.
Right, yeah.
And that's when I said, you
was
know
like,
what? I bet if I wrote some jokes, I could go back and do better. And that's when I started.
Hey, man, that's like when people say, man, I know what pain is.
Yes.
And this ain't pain.
Comedically, I know pain. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what makes you say, you know what, I can take this and I can learn from it as opposed to...
I've always been like that. I've always been the kid that bet on himself. I'm always...
Damn.
That's what Saturday, I'm betting on myself. This is... Saturday, I put all the money up for this.
I heard that.
No management, no agency. I decided 23. I'm tired of waiting for the deal to manifest. All my money in. I'm putting my own money up. I'm betting on me Saturday.
And so with you at Laugh Factory, you shooting that you shooting a special
I'm
too?
shooting a special.
So when you say you putting it all up, you're not just talking about I got the room.
I paid for the cameramen,
Production.
directors, editors. I paid for the curtains. I paid for the floor. My logo's paid for.
Hey,
The
man,
lights are paid
it's
for.
different when you start seeing those invoices.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh
Absolutely.
man, well, maybe I should have went with
But
the
then, like I
management
said, it's either gonna blow up and I'm gonna learn something from it.
right.
It's gonna be a massive failure and I'm gonna learn, or it's gonna be
Well,
a
hell, man,
massive
if we
success.
sitting here, let's talk about it real quick too. You know what I'm saying? Alrighty, what he's talking about, man, is there's 2 shows on Saturday.
2 shows Saturday.
2
8 o'clock
shows
and 10
on
o'clock.
Saturdays, 8 and 10 o'clock, man. The Laugh Factory is going down, man. And
Laugh Factory, Long Beach.
Long
Long
Beach,
Beach,
live
Laugh
from Long Beach.
Live
It is
from Long
going
Beach.
down. That's Saturday. There's an 8 p.m. show and there's a 10 p.m. show, and that's in Long Beach, man. Long Beach could almost be your Harlem.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you go to Harlem and that happens and you say, man, I learned from that.
Right.
A lot of people, that's when they start to tuck their tail or they say this ain't for me.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine what you were in front of. Because it's a difference when people say, man, we're going to a comedy club. We're going to go see Tony.
Yeah.
It's different when you almost walk out and people got their arms like this and like, man, make us laugh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and 9 times out of 9.5, I probably walked there. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
yes.
Because I'm right there in the neighborhood.
Yes.
You go back and you say, I got to tighten this up. When you get on stage the next time,
I get
Did
on.
it
I
feel
started
different?
doing open mics. It felt super different. I was a
Right.
little nervous about
yeah,
what had happened.
because it's like a boxer when they get knocked out, they know that punch.
Yeah, a little
It's like,
punchy. Yeah,
or
yeah,
when you get
yeah.
hit, you're like, okay, I know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's like football. Like once you play football, once you get the first hit out of
Yeah.
the way, it's like, okay, now let's play.
Yeah, but you also
know?
remember that first hit too when, they hit you hard.
Yes.
And you're like, you know what I'm saying? So are you?
I'm on stage like, how y'all doing?
Hey man, so when you bomb like that, the bomb of all bombs, right? How long before you get back on stage?
I'd say about maybe 3 months.
Really? And so now are you writing?
I'm writing, I'm reading everything. It's like the news, pop culture, then I realize how much material there is.
Mm-hmm.
Pop culture, the news, relationships, religion, whatever
Right.
I'm going through personally, whatever the neighborhood is experiencing. It's like it's so much material out there.
Did you use any of that before the bomb?
But no, before the bomb, I just thought I was a funny guy that could make anybody laugh.
Damn.
And then I realized like if this is gonna be a job, you have to treat it like a job.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you have to do the work.
Hey man, when you tell your brother Chris that you want to do comedy, is he supporting?
Yeah, all in. All
Okay.
In, all in, yeah. But
Yeah.
but see, people think
That's a hell of a world, bro.
people think that I just don't use the asset that he is. I told him, no, I'm gonna do this my way.
Right.
I don't want your help.
But that
please.
shows a lot of character with you.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I had a brother, I'd be like, hey, man, I'm rolling with
Oh
you.
no, sometimes.
No, I mean all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like all the time. And don't let me have something on you from when we were like 11. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, man, I got to go out on this tour. I'm going to
I use them.
tell them what happened with that brush.
I use them for perks. If I need tickets to Knicks Lakers, I need tickets. You know,
So
Dodgers
you know
Mets, I need tickets.
You know your privilege.
Right.
You know, because
Right.
some people like, oh, there's no privilege. Like, nah,
No,
you got to know
I
your
need
privilege.
these tickets, bro. Stop playing.
Yeah. So you know how to use that.
Yeah.
I
But
heard
as
that.
far as the industry is concerned, I like to just do things myself.
Right. So with you doing things yourself, bro, it's got to be the ups and the downs.
Absolutely.
Because especially when you, like I say, when you're on stage, there's no, oh, you tell the joke. It's not like
Right.
four of y'all in the group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you nail something, now you got a greatest hit, so you can just put the mic out there and they
Right.
finish the
Right.
joke. Like comedy that's a scary world, bro.
But that's the high. See, I said I don't smoke, I don't get high.
Right.
That's the high for me. That's the high to write something that I think is funny, go in a room full of strangers, say it, and they explode with laughter. That's the high. You can't get higher than that, as far as I'm concerned.
But do you find yourself continuing to chase it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same thing. It's the same. It's
One's
the
too
same.
many, 1,000's not enough.
Exactly.
Believe that, man.
Yeah.
So with the show
That's
that
why
you
comics
shoot,
do specials, then they get ready to go on tour and go disappear and write new material and do another one.
that's what I was about to ask you, man. With you doing your show now that's going to be in Long Beach Saturday, man, 2 shows, 8 and 10 at Long Beach and Laugh Factory Long Beach, do you have to do a lot of time working out to get that material
I've been
that you
working
know
out.
that you're going to record?
I've been working out the whole time. This is my first special.
Really?
It's all been work.
Wow.
It's all. I told a friend of mine the other day. It's funny you said that. She's a female comedian, and she said, "Well, she's a comedian. I don't want to say she's a female comedian." And I said to her, "It's all practice. It's all practice until the lights are on. Every set is practice until they say action. So I've been practicing the whole time."
Dude, that's so crazy to hear you say this whole time you haven't done like your special.
I did a half hour
There's-
on Comedy
yeah.
Central years ago, and it was cool. But this is all me.
Do you feel like now it's like, man, I'm ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready.
ready, yeah.
Believe that.
I'm ready to go.
And not giving it away, but do you use life? Have you always been a guy that used life as far as when you do stand up?
Yeah, life, pop culture. Well, relationships. If you look at any great special, any comedian, they talk about relationships a lot because it encompasses the majority of the room.
Yes, man.
If you talk about politics, some people in the room, I'm not really into politics. I get it, but
Yeah.
you talk about religion, I don't talk about religion.
Right.
But if you go into relationships, you're either going through it, you just survived it, you're facing it, you're in the eye of the storm.
Yeah.
You about to get it. You just, you're in it right now and talking to lawyers. Everybody's like, at some facet of it can understand exactly what you're talking about.
Hey, man, how did you know that Wacko was going through a divorce and he's talking to lawyers? This dude is not only a comedian, this dude's a psychic. So
Sorry, Wacko.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss a dude off named Wacko.
Yeah.
You don't know who Wacko know.
Yeah, no, he's just whacking up his film and stuff. It's an old term from editing, But so have you been are you in a relationship now?
Yeah, it's complicated, man.
It is. Hey,
So,
man,
isn't it always complicated?
I don't know. Talk to Corey Holcomb about relationships. I don't know what you're.
tell a chick that you don't love her, man.
Oh, hey, man.
I took a chick to get some biscuits from.
Hey, man, I have Corey Holcomb in the neighborhood, and I curl my toes up in my shoes.
Oh, that's my dude, man.
Because I
Shout
don't
out
know
Corey.
what's going to happen with Corey.
Corey said something I saw on the social media. It might have been on your show.
Uh-oh.
He said something about relationships, like if you spend time with a person that drains your energy. Was it here? He said something
It
like
could
if
be.
you spend,
I think
if you spend
so.
around,
Yeah.
if you spend time around a person that's draining your energy, you're literally dying faster than you're supposed to.
Right? Hey,
And I
hey,
was like,
man.
damn, man, that's deep. And I
Yeah.
would never think Corey Holcomb would say something to have me like,
Like, so you're a philosopher? Yes, I think very
deeply. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But are there other
I'm
comedians?
like, Corey, pontificate, if you will.
Right, if you will.
Tell us about these dirty bitches.
Yeah. Hey, man, but Corey just one of those people. And I say to Corey, I say, man, are you afraid of the cancel culture? And he's like, nah. You
Listen,
know?
let me tell you something. Cancel culture is not a real thing. It's fake.
Okay.
It's made up.
So why am I nervous?
Nobody's been canceled. Everybody that said they've been canceled,
Right.
you've seen more of them after they said they've been canceled than you did before.
I just
How
don't-
is that canceling?
I don't want to go through the hardship though. You know what I'm saying?
What's
like,
the hardship? What's the hardship?
I don't know.
Everybody's talking about you. That's not the hardship. Everybody, you trend.
All right.
You the #1 trending topic
All right,
on social media.
psychiatrist.
That's not canceled. That's not being canceled.
Well, I don't want to be the #1 topic. You know what I'm saying?
Just don't say something about certain people.
Oh, yeah.
As Kanye found out.
Yeah.
But
Do you find yourself now having to do more of a mental editing when it comes to material? Nah.
Nope. Comedy club. That's the last safe place. That's the last safe space to talk in freely is the comedy club.
Hey man,
Comedy club's gonna go underground as soon if this cancel culture continues.
Yeah.
And it gets like to a height. It's gonna be underground comedy.
Right.
You're gonna have to sneak into a room and knock on the door and know a person just to come in and hear.
Yeah,
stand-up.
they open up the little
But
door.
stand-up ain't gonna stop.
Yeah.
Stand-up ain't gonna stop. It's going. All right, everybody in. Okay, close those phones off.
Because I was about to say that you seeing that even more so now. Not with you just going around working out, but you seeing like big arenas now where people are saying tuck your phone.
Oh yeah, we tucking phones Saturday.
Yeah,
your phone
tuck
will not
your
be out
phone,
Saturday.
man.
Yeah, we tucking
Why
phones.
are you tucking phones on Saturday?
Because I just don't want people to record
material
and leak
out.
the material out before because I'm gonna edit this and then start the process of trying to ship it, trying to shop it. Maybe go YouTube route, maybe go social media route. So I don't want the material out until.
Where
it's
did
ready.
you work out at for this particular special?
I was in Seattle last weekend. I was in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I was in.
When you going in, are you telling them then too? Hey, I'm working this material out.
No,
Can you not record?
No. I tell the room. I tell like the wait staff and the security, like, hey, watch the room, make sure the cameras on it.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
Yeah, so I've been working it out for years.
So once you finish this show that you're recording,
Yes.
that material goes is dead.
Once it premieres,
Yeah.
then that material's gone.
And how long? Okay, so this would be probably what total running time an hour that we'll probably see.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so how long does it take for you to create an hour in real time?
A long time.
Yeah,
a long time. I don't think you could put a timeline on it because it has
You're
to be
always
it has to be
creating.
organic. You have to do it. You can't just write an hour. And, okay, this is the hour. No, you got to really work it. This is going in. This is coming out. This doesn't hit hard enough. I got to strengthen this up. It's a process, man. It takes a long time to write 5 minutes if you're being honest with yourself.
Yeah, and if you really care about that 5
if you
minutes.
really care about the craft, the art form, then you really takes a long time to write a quality piece of material.
When we were talking about cancel culture, right?
Yes.
When you watched, and hopefully, I don't know if you did, when you watched Chris' special with Selective Outrage.
Selective Outrage, right.
Yeah.
Greatest name ever because now we see it more and more every day. Like, that's Selective Outrage. Wait, that's
Selective Outrage, yes.
Wait, that's Selective Outrage.
Hey, man, when you're watching that, and we get into the whole, the last 10 minutes.
Right.
But when you're watching that, I was looking at certain things on there that I was like, ooh, man, don't come after Chris. You know what I'm saying? like with the abortions, and I was like, whoa,
But we know that's what he does, right?
Yeah.
It's not like he had a new style for this special. We know that that's what he does. He pushes
Did you know about the special and the material?
I was there 10 times. I saw it at the Forum. I saw it at the Barclays. I saw it.
Okay, so you saw the build up.
Oh yes,
You saw the workout.
Oh yes.
Okay, because
I love to watch the process when he's getting ready.
Yeah.
I like to see it in the beginning. I like to see it in the middle.
And you seeing how he's tucking it and in and out, and
it's inspiring.
I had a chance to check them out when he was with Dave, right? And I heard he did a little bit about Will Smith on that day,
right?
But we were in the back talking to Dave. And I guess he opened with that a little bit. And so I was like, Dave, I said, man, what time Chris come on? And he saw, most Talib. And he was well, if you see him, then Chris is on. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, we back here talking and shit. So I don't get a chance to see it. So I didn't get a chance to see the actual, how he laid it out.
Right.
Until I had a chance to watch that Selective Outrage.
I saw them in New York when they did Kevin Hart did 5 stops in New York City. Mm-hmm. And my brother was opening.
Yeah.
And then Dave did a pop in at the Garden. I saw Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, one show, Madison Square Garden. It was the greatest comedy show I ever saw in my life.
And not recorded.
Not recorded.
Can you imagine we could have sold that to Netflix?
It was unbelievable. I walked out of the Garden like I'm a new comedian. This has inspired me like nothing else.
Do you get inspired by a lot of comedians or selective comedians?
Not a lot, but yes.
Yeah.
When it's going through your special, do you go to anyone or your brother specifically of like, what do you think of this? Or do you keep it to yourself, not wanting that input?
I kind of keep it to myself.
Okay.
I got some guys that travel with me. I got my road guys, and I kind of
I don't
trust
know.
them.
How do we know that? You came up here alone.
It's early, man. I didn't want to wake them up. Like, they sleeping. I'm like, hey.
He's like, hey, Big, I'm downstairs. I'm like, all right, tell your people to send you up. He's like, no, I'm downstairs.
I'm a Brooklyn dude. I just get up and go, man. That's how we move.
So you do have people that you can kind of do checks and balances with and bounce certain things off of.
Listen, if my sisters think anything I say is funny, that's golden.
You got it.
That's golden.
Are they hard on you?
Man, listen.
You got to earn it.
My sister's like this the whole show.
Damn, you're like, baby, you like, can you go to the back?
I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
They're black girls. You know how black girls
Yeah,
go.
be like,
Black girls are not impressed by anything. I see a little show. You know?
Yeah.
You could be at Pasadena, the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And they're like, your little show sold out, huh?
Yeah. I've seen that.
Black women are the hardest in the world to
So
impress.
when you know
That's
you
why
got-
black men have to be on their game at all times.
You know, when you got your sister, you got the world.
I got the world. If I
You're
got
like,
my
man,
sisters.
if I got
Yes.
them.
Yes.
But you need to bounce that off of people like that anyway.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
'cause-
And then I go to the factory. I work out. I do
Right.
15 minutes of the time. Okay, that 15 minutes was good. I go to the improv. That 20 was good.
Yeah.
I go to the
Because you
Ha-Ha,
already
I go
know
to the comedy store.
I'm funny with my homies. Like every,
Yeah, oh no, I know
my
that.
homies, yeah,
I know that, but
So
I
you
also
that.
know that's not going to work this time.
Yeah. So you found that
I
out
learned my
early
lesson
on.
with that. Yes.
Hey man, I do have to ask you, man, where were you at? If you don't mind my asking, where were you at when you saw what happened with your brother Chris? Like,
The
are you-
special or
No, I'm talking about at the Oscars.
Okay, so I tell the story a lot. People don't believe me. I don't watch the Oscars. I don't support the Oscars because the Oscars don't support black movies.
Right.
I see great black movies every year, and I think that has to get in. That has to be a
Right.
nomination, and they don't even mention it.
Hey man, and I want you to continue, but I don't watch the Oscars either,
Yeah.
right? The reason why I watched the Oscars in real time that night was King Richard, and I was ready to see Will get his moment. That's the only reason I was
Okay.
watching that night in
I
real
thought
time.
about watching because it was a black production. It was the
Yeah,
first year
man, come
ever
on.
that they let black people produce.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of people that went over a lot of people's heads.
Right.
That this was the
It was
first
a-
year in the highest award show in the industry. Right. This is the grandest award show as far as the industry is concerned. That they let blacks run the whole show.
Yeah.
That's why what happened was more disappointing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, I was home watching the NBA package. I don't watch the Oscars. I was watching not even a game that was really
Right,
I was
yeah.
watching the Portland Trailblazers
Right. Be like the Supersonics.
Yeah,
There's
it
no
was
Supersonics.
Yeah, I was watching. I'm just in the house eating Cheez-Its.
Right.
Okay. And my phone starts going crazy. Let me paint a picture for you guys. All of my family lives on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's back east still. So when my phone starts going crazy as a black person, you think
Something's going on. Something happened.
somebody's
Yeah.
in something
Yeah.
bad. So now I'm looking at the phone like, damn, am I ready for this phone call? Am I ready to take? I'm thinking about my mother.
Yeah, man.
I'm like, damn, something happened to mommy. I'm not even prepared to take this phone call. And I see my little brother Jordan calls, and I'm like, okay, I could at least take some bad news from family. And I answer the phone like, what's up? And he goes, was that real? I'm like, was what real? You didn't see that? Nah, see what? I'm sending you the link. And he sent me the link. So I saw it 40 minutes, 30 minutes after you guys did.
Wow.
Because it had to circulate social media and everything before he saw it. And then he called me, and I had been ignoring the phone for 10 minutes. So when I saw it, you guys had the world was already talking about it. So I saw it, and I thought, what the hell? And I text my brother's guy, and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, yeah, man, I don't know. It's crazy. I'll talk to you later. And, being the brother that I am, it's so weird that people are always like, wow, Tony Rock keep talking about that for clout. I don't need to talk about it for clout. It's my brother.
Say it.
It's my brother. I've been doing stand-up for 25 years. Why would I need to talk about this for clout? Yeah. It's my brother. You guys don't have siblings that you care deeply. I love my family more than anything in the world. So why would I not be offended by something like this happening?
Mm-hmm.
So I called my brother's guy, and I'm like, okay, well, where y'all going? Because I'm coming to meet y'all.
Yeah.
Like, it's on. Like, let's go.
And are you in L.A. at the time?
I'm in L.A. I'm putting
Wow.
my sweatpants on and my Timberlands, and I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go. And then my brother calls me like, hey, man, and this is my big bro. He's like, I know who you are. I know what you thinking.
Yeah.
Be cool. Like, it's cool. Just chill. And I'm like, okay, big bro said chill, so I'm going to chill.
Hey man, and let me tell you, bro, like I come from it's like I said, it's 7 kids. My mom's single parent. I come from a very tight household of we got each other's back.
Right.
My mom used to say, my mom was the sweetest lady. But she said, if anybody mess with y'all, they got to die 7 times. That mean we all
My
had to
father
jump
said,
in.
if your brother's in a fight, then you're in a fight.
Yeah.
We were getting fights in school, and my dad would ask my brother, what happened? And while he's telling my dad the story, my brother would say, okay, what did you do?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what did you do? He wants to hear like,
all
oh, and then
gotta
I
get
jumped
in.
in, and then I jumped in, and then that's how we were raised. I just assumed that people were raised like that. But apparently, according to social media,
Right.
you need to shut up. It ain't got nothing to do with you. How does it not have nothing to do with me? First of all, it got more to do with me than anybody.
Say
I
it.
used to work for the other guy, and the other guy's my sibling. It has more to do with me than anybody.
And it's yours.
So why can't I
It's
speak on it?
yours.
Yep.
I used to work for the guy. We was friends.
So you had a relationship. When you say you used to work with the guy,
Will hired me.
Yeah.
He literally said, out of every comedian, that's the guy that's going to play this part. And we hung out on set.
Damn.
We talked on set. We ate. We had lunch together. We talked about family and friends and
what's
Knicks
the project?
versus the
Is that the
Sixers and all of us. Yeah.
all of us, yeah.
And then he put me in the movie Hitch. A lot of people don't know that.
right?
I was
So
in the
you
movie
had a relationship with Will Smith.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that I'm in a position too where I'm like, oh man, I love Chris. Chris and I have been together for so many years, so on and so forth. And Will changed my life when I did this.
Right.
So if I was put in a crazy position, I can't imagine.
You
Tony.
saw the special. You saw the pain in my brother's face when he kept
Yeah.
saying, "Yo, I love this guy. I've always loved this dude. I have loved this dude for years.
Yeah.
We've always championed this guy. He was the guy. We was like, yo, we made it when we would collectively as black people, black and brown people,
Yeah,
we would look
man.
at Will like, yo, we made it.
Yeah,
All the
that's
stuff
why
he
I was
doing.
watching it that night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
No, I was still watching the NBA.
yeah, of course. With your snacks.
I'm like, I want him to win, but Portland's
Yeah.
playing Orlando.
Somebody. Hey man, so as a brother, do you want to just go off right then?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And this ain't like tough talk. This is my brother. I'm not gangster. I'm not the guy that's, I'm not waving a flag and all. This is my brother, man. My dad said if your brother's in a fight, you in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you immediately, like when Chris called you up and he say, be cool, calm down.
But he said, hey, he said, I know you somewhere plotting revenge. Be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool.
He know you.
And then when he said, I'm going out on the road, I'm going to start these dates, I knew, okay.
He said that the same
No,
night?
that was like later on. It was like later
yeah.
on. It's like, hey, I'm going to start touring and like.
So you knew.
I knew, okay.
We gonna get him back.
All this
He
material
gonna get him back his way.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Had you seen Will since then?
I have not.
Yeah, that was a stupid
have
question too because you're sitting here in front of us. You're not in prison.
Yeah.
yeah, so
I have not. I have not. And listen, he doesn't owe me anything. People
Right.
keep saying he doesn't owe me anything. I just thought we were better than that. My phone number has never changed. So I just thought I'd get a phone call one day like, hey, man, you and I just talk. It hasn't happened. So I guess it's not going to happen.
Did you know that the material was coming?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I heard snippets.
Yeah.
I heard snippets. He never did. On the special that night, he did it in its entirety. On the
Right.
tour, he would do
Right,
little
yeah.
snippets of it. You would hear
Yeah.
little pieces, but I didn't know it was going to be that grand.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, man, would you had waited that long? And the waiting time is your waiting time. And I
Right.
thought that it was genius. Could you had said, no, you know what? I'm going to build on this. I'm going to build. I'm going to put something together. Or do you think Tony, you would have went right
No,
out?
I totally. Well, I would have probably. I might not have waited.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't have waited. Would the Oscars have still went on that night?
Oh no.
Yeah. That's what I
No,
kind of
no,
figured so.
No,
Yeah.
but now that I see what he did,
Right.
it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was calculated. It was like people want to hear my response. Everybody had something to say about it, but nobody ever heard from him.
Exactly.
Every radio host, every podcast, every
News outlet,
social
everybody,
media,
yeah.
news outlets, every morning show, everybody spoke about it except for him. So if everybody's waiting to hear me say something about it, you're gonna hear me say something about it on my time
Right.
when I'm ready in my forum,
Right.
in my gym, in
Yeah.
my boxing ring.
Yeah.
This is my boxing ring. This is my full court. This is where I play. So you hear it on my terms.
And
So
his
that was
audience
genius.
is grand.
Right.
Like, I get people that'll run up on me and they be like, Big, what do you feel about it? I'm like, bro, if I want to address that, I have a show
Right.
that hits millions of people, bro. Like, I don't need to say it right
Right.
there. So I can see where Chris was coming
That's
from.
why
with
people
that.
do stuff on their social media. It's like I have 400,000 followers. I'll do it here
Right.
on my stage,
Does that make you write different now? I don't know what your show is that's coming up.
Does it make me right?
Yeah, do you address?
No, I say a little something about
Right.
it, but I don't. It probably won't make the special. I mean, because then they'll be following that,
Right,
and I don't want to have to follow that.
Yeah. Were you in the audience that night when Chris did it?
No, I was on the road.
Oh, okay.
I was on the road.
Yeah, you was like, man, I got to do mine.
Yeah,
too, bro.
I was
You know
in
what I'm saying?
Buffalo and I was watching on my phone. I had a link and I was like, oh!
Hey man, and just one last thing on that too, on the Oscar night, bro. Had you watched it in its entirety, and I'm talking about from the whole, the joke, the keep the name out the mouth kind of thing. Did you
Right.
watch all that? Because as a brother, man, I'm sitting here, bro, and I'm mad. And that's real talk, man.
Yeah.
So you know how somebody will say, "Oh, after a fight, you got to watch the video," and that's got to be hard to watch the video.
Right.
Did you watch that entire?
I watched it in its entirety. I watched that nobody assisted my brother. I watched that that he said when he won the award, the devil's always working. So, like, that was the devil. A joke was the devil. A joke was the devil putting his work in. I think the devil does a little bit more sinister work than that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I saw that Samuel and I think it was Denzel comforted Will, but didn't say anything to my brother. I saw that. It was a couple of things that I saw that were like, wow, that's interesting. I saw that the production company kept it going.
Yeah.
You know, the first night that it's a black production, and he acted like the ultimate N-word, and they just said, keep it going. I saw that.
Man.
You know, I saw that my brother had to keep his composure, and like you said, our parents told us don't fight in front of white people. But mommy would have had to be mad that night.
Yeah.
Mommy would have been mad that night.
Yeah, man. So, and I don't know where it goes to from there. It's not my business. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the outside looking in. Of course, you're way more connected to it. But even when I saw that one time when Diddy was like, they talked, and you was like, no, they didn't talk.
Oh, yeah, that was, and that I reached out to him. He didn't want to talk. That wasn't true.
Right.
That wasn't true. That, like, I think like 2 nights later, he said, I reached out to Chris and he didn't want to talk. That wasn't true. That wasn't
Man, I'm telling you,
But,
bro.
you know, he said, he did what he did. He said what he said. I don't know where it's going from here either. My brother's getting ready to tour and, you know, do some wonderful stuff. I'm sure he's doing some wonderful stuff in his career, and I'm sure they're still going to work and make money, and everybody's going to be fine.
Hey, man, do you feel like that changed the texture of comedy just a little bit, too? Because right after that, we saw Dave Chappelle get attacked. I saw DC Young Fly had to put hands on somebody probably around that same time. Like, what the hell happened to comedy, bro?
It broke the fourth wall, so to speak.
Right.
There was always a sense of, hey, that's up there and we're down here and we enjoy it from there.
Yeah.
And now it was like, oh, well, he ran up and wait, now you can. It's nothing to stop
Right,
us from it. It made people like realize, wait, it's just space right here. Like we could just go. There's no sense of performance space and audience space.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to continue. I don't know if it's like that's what everybody thinks now, but
Right.
But that's what it looked like with the Dave incident, my brother, with DC, with Steve Brown. That's what it looked like.
Big Boy's Neighborhood, Tony Rock in the Neighborhood, your big interview. Don't forget it is going down, man. Saturday, March 25th, 8 p.m., 10 p.m., live from Long Beach. My man said, you know what, bro, I'm going to put it all in me.
Richard Pryor did a special called Live from Long Beach. So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hey, man, is it different when it's all you? Because at one time, you know, you usually come into town, it's the promoter. You're like, oh, man, you know, oh, yeah, I'll go do a show if you need a little push or something like that. But this is like.
I would land in the city, check in the hotel, go eat.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming the lights work. I'm assuming the mic works. I'm assuming you sold tickets. I show up. Hey, say my name. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Now I leave here. I have to go to Long Beach, make sure they're putting the floor down, make sure the curtains are right, make sure the logo's on the wall, make sure the lights are up, make sure the mic's this and the production's this, and I got to do everything.
Why Laugh Factory Long Beach?
Because the owner, Jamie Masada, when I was making those walks from Pico to the Laugh Factory, I would go in the office and sit with. I didn't have one friend. I actually had one friend in Los Angeles at the time, and I would go sit in the office with Jamie every day, and we would have lunch and just talk about life and. You know, where I want to see this thing going.
Man,
and Jamie always took care of me. So
crazy that you would walk there walk into Hollywood in hopes of getting on that Laugh Factory, and now you're shooting your special.
Yes, that's why. That's why. Because Jamie always took care of me. So if we're gonna do it, let's do it at his club.
I heard that. Is it any different now going in? Like when?
Absolutely. Now I walk in and go, "Hey, I'm next."
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, who's on? Light 'em. I'm next.
So are you nervous when you know that you're recording your own thing? And I don't mean nervous like you questioning your skill.
No, it's nervous anticipation. It's
right,
like,
it's like
today is Tuesday, so I'm kind of cool. But Thursday, Friday, I'm going to start getting a little like, oh boy, here we go. Saturday morning, I'm going to be a wreck.
Really?
Not like you said, not nervous, but like, come on, let's get it. Let's go. It's 4:00. I can't wait for 8:00.
When you finish a set, do you feel like you got through it without even thinking about it sometimes?
Yes.
Like, oh, damn, that's
Yes.
Like you almost teleport. Like,
Yep. It's I channel. I'm a vessel. The Lord just comes through, and the talent just comes out.
Was there anything else that you wanted to do besides comedy, or did you know that your calling
I wanted to be a
was?
sportscaster, and I was a sportscaster for 2 years. I had a show on NBATV.com for 2 years that people don't know about. A lot of people don't know about. It was called The Warm Up. Myself, Ben Lyons, and Ro Parrish, we hosted a show called The Warm Up because it was the warm up to Inside the NBA.
Gotcha.
So you could watch it on
Wow.
NBATV.com. It was a half hour before Inside the NBA started.
Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I played every sport.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you
Super athletic. You can't tell right now.
Right. Did you have the aspirations?
I did, but
Yeah.
I think every little black kid has aspirations because there's nothing much to do in the ghetto. There's a basketball rim for every black kid in the hood.
Right.
There's a
right.
rim everywhere.
They don't have no net on it.
Right,
but,
no net.
But,
Yeah.
but the
so,
rim.
you know, when there's nothing to do and you got that many siblings, you get a basketball, that's entertainment for the next 5 hours, 6 hours.
And so you had that as a dream, but you knew that comedy was what you were
I
going
was
to
the
lock
funny
in
kid
on.
on the basketball court.
Really?
I was the funny kid on the football
So you were the
field.
funny kid everywhere.
I was the funny kid in the baseball league. Yeah, I was that kid.
Are there people that look at you now, Tony, and say, in years in past, who will say, we knew?
Oh
We-
yeah.
oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. I got a lot of friends that I grew up with. My man Los, he's back east, but my man Carlos Russell, that's my brother forever. He was like, dude, I saw this the whole time.
Did it ever get frustrating?
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
It's supposed to because you
Did
feel,
you ever want to give up?
No. That's a loser's mentality.
You calling me a loser?
Wow,
that was
you can't even entertain that thought of giving up.
I hear you.
You have to keep going. You have to. If you love it, it's going to keep you going. And if you love it, to quit is going to hurt you more
Right.
than to push through the hard times.
What other jobs did you have before?
You name it.
Okay.
I had everything. I was the
because
funny
comedy
guy
not
in the
paying the
stock
bill.
room.
Yeah.
I was the guy. Worked in insurance. I loaded newspapers onto trucks. I did it all.
And hey man, and is all that also tuition into the school of experience,
Yeah,
like those
absolutely.
lifetime things?
Because you're
like,
talking
man.
to people, you're interacting with
Yeah.
everyday people, and then you realize the guy that works with you, he's going through this and she's going through that, and that's material.
Hey Tony, I did not know until I got into radio that everything I was doing was setting me up for
Right.
what I'm doing today.
Right.
I remember when I was in 4th grade, I used to sing this. I got taught a Hebrew song. And when I first started in radio, I would sing that Hebrew song on air over a hip hop beat, and people used to love it. Not knowing when I was in 4th grade that one day I was going to use this.
Wow.
You know, or certain things just in life that helps me every day with what I do because I had a real life before I came into this.
Right. That's experience. Living your life is material.
Yeah.
Going outside, just walking down the street is material. Talking to the neighbor is material. Ordering food and the restaurant is material. Just everything is so much material. People ask comics, where does the material come from? It's right here.
Hey man, have you seen any comedy in being a father?
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Like, man, I couldn't write about this.
Yes. It's like I didn't. You love your kid, man. Like you just know you love your kid more than anything in the world.
Yeah, man. Louis about to have his first. In,
congratulations, bro!
What is July?
Yeah, July.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what you're having?
Boy.
Congratulations, bro! It's
Yeah.
gonna change. Your life is. Oh my
I know
God!
everybody says it.
Hey,
It's gonna be
Tony,
so
how
much
many
better.
times did you hear that before?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I wouldn't even entertain that conversation when I didn't have kids. Like, hey, this guy loves his kid. All right, I get it. Good for you, man.
Hey, dude, I used
I
to
got 3 girls in the car, man. What are you
Yeah,
talking
what are you
about?
talking about? Like, man, she want me to
They're
take.
like, come on, daddy. I'm like,
Yeah.
this dude want to talk about his kids.
Like, hold on, I'm talking to another daddy over here. You know, like, hold on, let me talk to this dad. Hold on, yeah, it's a whole different world. I
That's
remember.
why I ask now before I start, do you have children? Because
Right.
if you don't have children,
You don't understand,
I don't
too.
want to bother you with this conversation of seeing this joy in my face.
Yeah, man.
And you're like, you just
Hey,
have
man.
your empty life to go back to.
I remember I used to be at the store and I would literally push a basket and look down the diapers and all. I'd be like,
Yeah.
man, I'm never going down there.
Or you ever looking for something, like I would be in a CVS looking for condoms or like Plan B and walk down the wrong, not this aisle.
That's where you grow the
Like, hey, what am I
Infamil Similac baby wipes.
Hey, I need Plan B. What am I doing here?
Hey, this is the wrong place. Hey, man, but I would be on air, Tony, and I would say, man, if I have a kid, I'm going to name my kid Oops. If I have a kid, I'm going to name my kid Accident. And now I have 2 kids, and I couldn't imagine life without them, bro.
Yes.
You know, and I'm telling you, man, now that yours is 2, wait till you start really having dialogue with them.
Oh,
or when
yeah.
you're seeing them
Yeah.
grow.
Yeah.
And now my son is 16. He's taller than me. you know, my daughter's 14. I'm ready to kill somebody. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's the toughest job that you enjoy the most.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
Reginald Hudlin told me. Reginald Hudlin said it gets, because I kept, every time he sees me, how's the baby? I'm like, oh, it's just so dope. It gets so much better as he gets older. And he's like, hey, bro, it's gonna get better forever. He's like, my kids are like, I think his kids are 14 and 16
and
as well.
Times.
And he's like, I still look at them like, this is the best thing ever.
It's times where it's like, okay, you remember them not walking.
Right.
You remember them.
Right.
So it's always this thing of time where you're like, oh, I see where they are now.
And when he learns a new word, you're like, where'd you get that word? How'd you know that word?
Yeah,
like
man.
yesterday, he was playing with his toys and like knocked the tower down and said, Dada, it's a disaster. I'm like, wait, where'd you?
Oh, wait.
How'd you get that?
And he about to be 3?
Yeah.
Oh, you probably got a little prodigy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you taking any investments in them?
Oh, man. We invested everything in this one.
I'm talking for me too, though. Yeah. My man said he said it's a disaster.
Yes.
I heard that.
Yes.
It's crazy where these kids come from too,
amazing,
man.
man.
And that shows you too, man, that we raising human beings.
Yes.
And those kids are like sponges, bro.
Yep.
And we got to be very careful
Dude,
what they absorb.
Thank you, man.
It's going to make you want to change the world. You're going to look at the world. You have never looked at the world so clearly as you are from the day your child was born.
Amen.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you to go through that during the beginning of the pandemic? Because he was born in the
No,
yeah.
listen, God's timing is perfect.
Nice.
I'm on the road 52 weeks in a year. I'm on the road like 48 weeks out of the year.
Say it.
So I was able to spend every day home with the baby.
Yeah.
God's timing is perfect.
Hey, bro, and that's probably some time that you wouldn't have sat down. You would
I
have
would
never
been like,
said,
okay, he's here. All right, I got to go. Now I got to I would have ramped it up. I would have went on the road every week because now I have a child to support.
right.
So God's like, no, you're going to sit down and enjoy this baby and build this bond with him, and it's going to be perfect.
I heard that. Y'all stick around y'all radios, man. We got Tony Rock in the neighborhood. Now, Tony, you do something on your Twitter or your social media sometimes where you do like the Tuesday 20 questions.
Yeah, I used to do it on my Twitter before
Elon got you.
Yeah. So
Right.
I would do 20 questions Tuesdays, and people would ask. I would always say you can ask anything, and it would always be like one of 5 things they would ask. They would never like really,
yeah. Nothing original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your brother doing?
Yeah.
Dude, I said any question. If
Right.
you want to go.
So we
But
gonna
then I
come
would
back.
get comics that would ask like really like younger comics that would really ask like.
All right, and you answer
Developmental questions. Yeah.
pretty
Honestly,
much everything.
I'm an open book, bro.
All righty, we coming back. I'm gonna ask you.
I fear saying that.
Yeah. Y'all stick around y'all radios. Tony Rock in the neighborhood, Big Boy in the neighborhood.